All right, we got day 8 of the Oregon Coast Trail. I am leaving the town of Pacific City. Veggie just dropped me off again. I've got my high-vis vest kind of over my back right now because I'm going to start off with a 6.4, not quite 7, 6.4 mile road walk. But it is the morning, so hopefully it will be uneventful. So I'm on this road. It's called Bruton Road for about 2.5 miles out of town before I connect with the 101. And I want to point out that unlike the last couple of hiking days I've had, this is actually a sunny morning. Would have been really... Is that an elk? Oh boys. Oh boy. Those are deer. Looks like they made it safely across. Okay. But it is a sunny morning, so it would have been nice to have a beach walk, but if I'm going to do a road walk, I'd love to do it in the morning when everybody is awake. And, you know, oh gosh, hold on. In the morning when there's less traffic and hopefully more people are alert, as opposed to late at night when visibility is getting kind of low. Unfortunately, deer can't read signs. They did not cross here. Crossed way back there. At least this road walk has some nice views. This is morning light on the Nestucca River. And this road walk is going to be going, well, paralleling the river and then going around Nestucca Bay. Hitting the junction for US 101, and I've got about 3 miles of this. At least in this section it looks like it has a nice shoulder. Hopefully that remains for all those 3 miles. Alright, on the 101 or US 101, crossing the river itself. Oh, there's a bunch of, I don't know if you can hear me, those are cormorants over there. They're a fish-eating, diving seabird. But this river is probably the reason for this long road walk anyway. You gotta get up and around it, no swimming across. Whoops! It's like somebody lost their boat here too. Wow, I'm not sure if they were trying to come up in the river or if this is a result of a storm or something. Alright, finally leaving US 101. There was a nice shoulder the entire way, but I did inhale quite a bit of exhaust. It was pretty gross. But only about a half mile now to the fresh air of the beach. So I have about between 3 and 3.5 miles of beach walk, which already feels so much better than the road walk. And then I hit the town of Neskowin. I'm gonna have to see what the tide is doing when I get to the edge of town to see if I'm going through town or around town. So beautiful. Approaching the very outskirts of town. Straight in front is Cascade Head, and a little bit inland here in the National Forest is actually where I'm going to end my day. It is not as close as it looks. I've got to get to town, and then I've got a little road walk to the trails that start somewhere back there. But really enjoying this beach walk, especially after that morning road walk. and getting into town. Last stretch of beach for today, heading into town. Eventually gonna probably cross this on the road before heading to the national forest up there. Oh, look at this scene. Sometimes it pays to look back. Gorgeous. I'm gonna do some stops in town. My headphones just died, so I'm not sure this is a big enough town for headphones. And then I've got some phone calls for general life stuff that I need to take care of. Kind of annoying on trail, but life also goes on outside of trail. Town is not very big. Well, the one store in town has pretty much everything but headphones, so I think I'm SOL on the headphones and entertainment until Lincoln City tomorrow. So during my extended lunch break, I did a little bit of troubleshooting with the headphones, and it's actually a good thing that the store didn't sell headphones, because somehow during the jostling earlier in the day, the headphones got muted, but not the regular media speakers. So I was able to find that setting and fix it, and I have headphones again. All right, on my way out of town, Neskowin. There's town. That's it. And I'm rejoining the lovely US 101 for about 2 more miles, and then I'm done with road walking US 101 today. Let's see if there's a shoulder. Yeah, there's a pretty decent shoulder right now. Across this scary, windy passing lane zone of US 101 is the trailhead to go into the national forest, which is a rainforest. So just gotta safely make it across that way. I was trying to come across on this other side, but there's absolutely no space between the passing lane and that bar. So I had to come over here and gotta try to cross again. I'm alive. These are some big mushrooms. I've been seeing mushrooms all over the place. I have not been paying too close attention to them. I should start learning them. I don't live in a place that's got a lot of mushrooms, so I just have never bothered. But those were big. Oh, and here's a couple more. They're more purplish. A lot of diversity within just a couple steps. So I was wrong before. That was not a big mushroom. This is a big mushroom. There's a couple of them. Wow. Coming out onto the forest route. This will take me up to the trailhead for Cascade Head. This used to be drivable. It is now closed to vehicles. So this is officially the alt. You can see the official arrow follows this trail, but it skips Cascade Head. So I'm going to go up this, and at some point on this road, I'm probably going to find a place to camp, because this is national forest, and a little bit into the Cascade Head trailhead, it becomes preserve where you can't camp. So I'm gonna make my way up the road and try to find a space for the night. Looks like we're just out of thimbleberry season. Bummer. Those might be my favorite wild berries. Found a banana. very slowly I'm going to cross this former road. Approaching the former trailhead parking area, because cars aren't allowed over here. I'm gonna pitch my tent somewhere around here. According to my boundary maps, the preserve starts a little bit in here, but I'm sure if I stay on this side of the trailhead, I will definitely be in national forest and not preserve land. And you can camp in national forest. Yep, I see a no camping sign on there, and I do want to observe the regulations. So definitely camping before that. All right, all set up and ready to go. Disperse camp under the trees. Okay, this is the first day I've done on this trail where I actually feel decent at the end of the day. I have to think that 0 day and all that food I ate had a lot to do with it. I was actually so exhausted on some of those opening days that I just went to bed without dinner. Like, I laid down and my feet and legs were like, no, you're not getting up. So it's probably a little low on energy for those days anyway. So nice recovery day, got my phone fixed, got food, and I've actually made an arrangement with Veggie and Karma as I'm kind of going through this area that anytime I want to grab a hotel in this sort of Lincoln County stretch, I can actually just go to their place instead, which is great because I've really just busted open the hotel budget so far on this trail. There have been camping options that I have forgone for hotels because I've been so exhausted. So those guys are my absolute heroes. So that's what's going to happen tomorrow, actually. So tomorrow morning, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head to Cascade Head itself and then join back up with the official Oregon Coast Trail as it goes along the beach through Lincoln City. And Lincoln City itself is just this gigantic sprawl along the coast. So I'm gonna walk the beach as far down Lincoln City as I can, and then just hit up the 101 and have a nice visit with Veggie and Karma again instead of having to shell out for a hotel. Those guys are amazing. So I'm excited for tomorrow.